and welcome to my channel. If you enjoy this video and the other content here, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you want to be a part of our community, we have a Discord server which will be linked below in the description. But without further ado, sit back, take a deep breath, and relax. And I hope you enjoy the video. Hello. I am going to, in this video, just nerd out a little bit. Just a tad, you know. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Because I never nerd out just a little bit. Because I have no self-control. In this video, I will be looking through and hopefully making a model from the Warhammer The Horus Heresy Age of Darkness box set. And now this is a fictional sci-fi universe. There's two kind of eras in this sci-fi universe that you can get little miniatures for to paint and play with. And I have always been into 40k, which is the year 40,000. But then this, the Horus Heresy, is set 10,000 years before 40k, in 30k, the year 30,000. It has got a giant book. Can you hear it? Hardback, giant, fuck off, massive book. And so hopefully this video will be something you can just put on in the background and kind of ignore me and have me rambling away just as a little bit of company while you study or just relax, maybe get some sleep, or perhaps you're doing something similar to me, something artistic, maybe building miniatures like I am, or painting or drawing. But onto the nerding out, I think. Okay, right. So, this box set has a massive amount of miniatures. It has, I think, 2 Legion Praetors, which are like, I don't know, think of them like army generals, you know? And then I've got, I think, 40 Mark 6 tactical marines. I think I have 10 Terminators, and one, I think it's I'm really not super well versed in 30k. I think it's a Contemptor Dreadnought is what I've got. I'll be able to see in a minute, but I'm going through the big book, the rule book. And I have a Land Raider Spartan, I think it's called. And so the way this box is, if I were to build and paint this box exactly like it's shown, I would have an army. Oh god, I'm gonna have to. This is the thing about 40k lore. There's so much I have to say as a preface, just to say one thing. There are different legions, and the different legions have different tactics and colour schemes and leaders and all of this. And the way that the box is made is there are an army of Imperial fists and an army of the Sons of Horus. I believe it's the Sons of Horus. It's confusing because they've had multiple names. That's definitely the Sons of Horus, yeah, because they're green. Yeah, okay. So, I don't want to build, well, I might want to build Imperial Fists and Sons of Horus, I don't know. But I do want to see the different legions and see which one I want to paint these guys as. So, let's see, from page 40 onwards is the Spaceman Legions. But allow me to see if there's a little short summary. No, this is not a short summary at all. Either. This is multiple pages of summary. Oh goddamn! Oh my! I mean, you know what? I think perhaps one day I'll do a video where I read through all of this, because it would certainly be a long video that someone would definitely fall asleep to, if not out of relaxation, then definitely out of boredom. Damn, there is so much. I'm not Imperial. Does it say about... So, quick summary? Ah, okay. I think this will have to do. So, each Space Marine Legion has a leader called a Primarch, not the shop. And each of these Primarchs was the son of the Emperor of Mankind. And they're like superhumans. They're massive, like taller than me, which is saying something because I'm like 6'4". They're massive. So here it says a little bit about the Primarchs. Let's lift this book up and allow me to read to you. In preparation for the reconquest of the galaxy, the Emperor created 20 Primarchs to be his agents of change and lords of war. Long before he reconquered ancient terror, these unique individuals, wrought of genecraft and lore beyond the understanding of any save the Emperor himself, were his generals and the executors of his will. Great leaders who would conquer uncounted worlds. Each Primarch had powers and skills beyond those of any other human, abilities rivaling those of the Emperor himself, for they were his sons and shared his brilliance, charisma, intelligence, and radiant glory. Furthermore, no two were alike. Each embodied a different facet of the Emperor's character and had their own preference to warfare. Together, united with the Emperor and with the legions at their command, they made for a force unseen and unequalled in the annals of human history. But the Emperor's ambitions for the Primarchs appeared to be thwarted by a cataclysmic event, the true nature and scope of which has never been revealed. Some unknown force snatched the still fetal Primarchs from the Emperor's care and flung them in scattered disarray across the galaxy. Each Primarch was cast onto a separate world, where he matured in circumstances good or ill as fate, or perhaps some other agency, decreed. As the years passed, each Primarch came into maturity beyond the Emperor's guidance, each a superhuman far beyond the power and ability of those around them. Some came to dominate their surrogate worlds, becoming powerful warriors and leaders. Others were transformed by predilection or circumstance into shadowed monsters of legend. Over the course of the Great Crusade, the Emperor was reunited with each Primarch in turn, and each was placed in command of one of the Space Marine Legions, and their authority was second only to the Emperor himself. At the close of the Great Crusade, each of the 18 remaining Primarchs was steeped in glory and was a proven master of strategy, having conquered vast swathes of space in the Emperor's name. So that is the Primarchs. And the whole event of the Horus heresy is the event of half of these Primarchs turning to chaos and beginning a civil war led by one of the Primarchs, the War Master, Horus Lupercal. Oh, they've even got a little anatomy of the surgical Space Marine implants. Huh, I like. Oh look, they've got all the different marks of power armor. Mark 1 Thunder armor, Mark 2 Crusade pattern, Mark 3 Iron pattern, Mark 4 Maximus pattern, Mark 5 Heresy pattern, Mark 6 Corvus pattern. Huh. Oh, it even talks about the... Oh, it goes into detail about them. Okay. I love it. So... Mark 2 Crusade. Mark 3, what's the difference between Mark 3 and Mark 2? I mean visually, because I'm never able to tell them apart. Oh, okay. So the Mark 2 looks a lot more like plated and bolted, whereas the Mark 3 looks a little less plated and bolted, but they have the same kind of helmet. Oh, no, I see a difference. So in the Mark II, the visor is just like one slit for the eyes, whereas in the Mark III, it's two separate ports for the visor. And then there's a Mark V Heresy armor. I do not like the look of Mark V Heresy armor. I'm not going to lie. I must say, like, my favourites for these are probably the Mark III Iron armor. It looks very kind of, it looks very, like, grim-dark sci-fi, which is, I mean, Warhammer is grim-dark sci-fi. Well, 30k and 40k is. But, I don't know, something about it is very nice, and it has that kind of knightly feel to it with the helmet. It kind of looks like some kind of, it basically just looks like a space knight. I quite like it. I don't like Mark V Heresy armor. I don't like the helmet design, and I don't like the giant balls. They look like giant balls, and I don't like it at all. It just looks wrong. And then there's the Mark VI Corvus armor, which is iconic because they got like the helmet looks like a bird, looks beaky. They're called beakies by the Warhammer fans, and I love it. The beaky boys. So I'd have to say my favourites are probably the Mark III and the Mark VI. Ah, here we go. The different legions. I wouldn't even know. I can't read through all of these. Because it would take too long. We'd literally be here for hours. I mean, I can do that, but I don't have the time to be here for hours. So, I'll do a quick overview, and then I'll talk a little bit about them. And, well, I'll talk a little bit about the colour schemes, because what I'm most interested in is the colour schemes. So, the first Legion, the Dark Angels, their primogenitor, aka their Primarch, is a man known as Lionel Johnson. Lionel Johnson is the world he grew up on was very like knightly, a whole sense of honour and duty and woo, fight evil, woo, rah, wave around your sword and look angry. And I mean, I kind of like them. Cognomen? What's that? Cognomen. Oh, okay. So these are the names that the legions have had before. So they are called the Dark Angels, but previous names they've had are the Angels of Death and the Uncrowned Princes, which I'm glad they have Dark Angels, because Angels of Death is a term that people use referring to all Space Marines. All Space Marines are Angels of Death. But when it comes to the Uncrowned Prince, well, the Uncrowned Princes, I don't like it. It's too long. Yeah. Well, I can't really judge. I made my own homebrew chapter called The Harbingers of Salvation, which is far longer than the Uncrowned Princes, so I should shut my mouth. Observe strategic tendencies. None. Within the Legion, there was at least one host or order dedicated to each discipline of war. Okay, so no specific strategic tactic. I like that. Okay. Let's look at the paint scheme, shall we? Okay, so these black and red. They're called Dark Angels, so I'd be a little bit concerned if, the colour scheme wasn't dark. Okay. It looks pretty decent, though. And there's a lot of checker pattern going on as well. Okay. So, main colour is black. The trim is silver, and the decals and other details is red, a kind of dark red. Not too dark, though. Oh, okay. I like it. It's okay. I put it in the maybe pile. Now, this is a Legion I'm interested in. Oh, wait, hang on. I didn't finish the last little bit about the Dark Angels. Noteworthy Domains, Caliban, I have no idea how to pronounce that, Grammary, and the Terran Enclaves. Okay. And the allegiance is Fidelitas Constantus, which basically they're loyalists. They didn't turn on the Emperor during the Horus Heresy. They are loyal. Unlike the Emperor's children, the Third Legion. But for those of you wondering, where is the Second Legion? The Second Legion is purged from all Imperial records. All data regarding them has been expunged. The kind of in-law reasons are unknown, but a lot of it's there are little hints and breadcrumbs of information. Out-of-law reason is that it gave people the ability to come up with their own legions. So, I could come up with my own paint scheme and Primarch and tactics, and I'd be like, oh, this is the lost Second Legion. So, there you go. But here's the Third Legion, and these guys, their allegiance is Traitoris Perdita. These guys are traitors. But oddly enough, they're called the Emperor's children, even though they betray him. Slightly ironic. So their primogenitor is Fulgrim. Fulgrim is a pretty boy, but not the good kind of pretty boy. Fulgrim is the, in school, Fulgrim's that pretty girl in school that was, just completely full of herself. Yeah, Fulgrim. He's a pretty girl. He's also half snake in the current timeline, because he's a demon Primarch now. So, yeah. Yeah. There's no prior names for them, though. Observe strategic tendencies. Combined arms warfare. The use of complex maneuver and discursive tactical planning. Asymmetrical assault. Okay, Yeah, I don't really care. I like the Third Legion, not because of their Primarch. I think Thulgrim's... I mean, actually, no, I kind of like Thulgrim, but I think he's a bit of a little bitch, you know? Just saying. But the main reason I want to do these guys is because of the colour scheme. It is magnificent. So, the main colour is purple. A very kind of rich royal purple. And their trim is gold, as well as the decals are also gold. So, in case it wasn't obvious by now, the Third Legion were all about attaining perfection. They wanted to be perfect at everything. They're kind of... I don't want to say that they're like people who feel pressured to be perfect, because people who feel pressured to be perfect are kind of a lot more humble about it. These guys feel pressure to be perfect and achieved it most of the time and were quite cocky about it. So they're kind of assholes, I think. But yeah, I am very interested in them, Emperor's Children. Oh, here we have the Fourth Legion, the Iron Warriors. Now, I'm not doing the Iron Warriors at all, but I will do a quick rundown of them. Their Primarch is Perturabo. He is a little bitch, 100%. He's a crybaby, and he's just a little bitch. And he should stop whining like a child and grow up. But it's too late for that because he's a Demon Primarch. These guys, obviously, because, Demon Primarch, these guys are traitors. Prior names, none officially recognised. An informal designation for the Legion, the Corpse Grinders, was suppressed, and use of it was categorised as an infraction of duty by order of the Officio Provost Marshal as corrosive to crusade morale. Yes, okay. Observe strategic strategies, siege and trench warfare, coordinated mass theatre warfare, armoured assault, planetary decimation, attrition, retribution and counter-insurgency campaigns. Yeah, these guys, they're all about the siege, and Perturabo is also all about the siege, and he's like an architect and likes to build fortifications and shit, but he's, unfortunately, he's a little bitch, so it kind of gets in the way. We're ignoring them. The colour scheme is just like silver, and there's a lot of like hazard markings, like the yellow and black stripes. So a lot of that, and I don't like it, and I'm not going to do Iron Warriors. My boy. So, 5th Legion Astartes. The White Scars, with their Primarch, Jagatai Khan. Prior names are various prior names, apparently. The Pioneers, Star Hunters, Blood Debt, Vanguard, and Grey Ghosts. Observe strategic tendencies, shock assault strikes, highly mobile hit-and-run campaigns, and extended unsupported operations within hostile domains. I'm quite a fan. I'm not so much of a fan of the 40k White Scars, and I don't know why. I just don't like them as much. But the 30k White Scars, love them. I think there's something slightly different about their aesthetic that it really hits the nail on the head for me. And so the White Scars are all... Jagatai Khan is basically, in case you can't tell from the name, Jagatai Khan. The Primarch and the Legion is basically based around the Mongols. And so they've got a very tribal Mongolian Asian aesthetic. It's very nice. I do like it, but their colour scheme, I like it, but it's difficult. Their colour scheme, the main colour is white. And for those of you that don't know, white is one of the hardest colours to paint on miniatures such as this. And, but I really like it. Like, they've got these special helmets that are just, oh, God, they're good. And the trim colour is red, and the decal colour is gold, and it just works very well together. I'm turning Thai, apparently, just simply in the presence of the of the token Asian Legion. I'm suddenly turning Thai. They go very well together. There we go. Do excuse me, I have just come back from a month in Thailand, visiting my family, so if I do at any point slip into a Thai accent while I'm speaking, it's because it's all I've been doing for like a month straight, so I'm sorry. But yeah, I am considering these guys. I do like them, but the paint scheme is just so hard. I've tried painting with white before, and it's difficult. But anyway, the 6th Legion, Space Wolves, with their Primarch, Leman Russ. Oh, I didn't mention as well, the White Scars, Loyalists, and so are the Space Wolves. Space Wolves, with their Primarch, Leman Russ, I do not like the name Space Wolves. I mean, Space Wolves, you know. It's too simple. But there's no officially recorded other names, but there are informal and idiomatic cognomen inconsistently used. Ooh, fancy words. But yeah, the Rout, and my favourite one, Volca Fenrica, which is these people are based, their homeworld is Fenris, right? And in Fenrisian, Space Wolves is Volca Fenrica. And I just think it sounds so fucking cool. The Sky Warriors and the Emperor's Executioners. Honestly, why didn't they just name themselves Volca Fenrica? It's so cool. And let's see. The colour scheme for the Space Wolves in 30k is different from the colour scheme for the Space Wolves in 40k, and I do quite like the colour scheme for the 30k one. It's like this very dark grey with these red decals, and something about it's got that grittier kind of savage look to it than the kind of ice blue that the 40k Space Wolves have, and I prefer it. So I would definitely consider these guys, and I think the aesthetic of the Space Wolves is very, I like it a lot. It's just all the different furs and the axes and the runes. I'm a big fan. I have done one Space Wolf model for 30k. No, not for 30k, for 40k, and it's one of my favourite models that I've ever made and painted. It turned out beautifully. So, you know, it's like, I am a fan, but like, I'm still kind of teetering on the edge. I don't know. It's not an amazing colour scheme, and I'm not super into the Space Wolves. But anyway, on to the 7th Legion, the Imperial Fists, with their Primarch Rogel Dawn, their cognomen, Nun, informally, the Stone Men, the Iceborn, Sentinels of the Void, the Defenders of Terror, and his Protectors. Observe strategic tendencies, shipborne assaults, and boarding actions, defensive and fortification. Operations in extremis, stronghold assaults, the conquest and forced compliance of void-faring civilizations. So the Imperial Fists, like the Iron Warriors, are all about siege, except the Imperial Fists remained loyal, unlike the Iron Warriors, because Rogel Dawn, unlike Perturbabo, isn't a little bitch. I like Rogel Dawn a lot more after the parody series, If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device, where he is hilarious. He is incapable of lying. He always tells the truth and takes everything literally. And it's funny. It's hilarious. But I'm a fan of Rogel Dawn. He's very stubborn, like me. So I relate. And the colour scheme's quite nice. Again, I have painted this before. This colour scheme, I do enjoy it, but it's for me. It's a maybe, you know. The main colour is yellow, and the trim colour is black. And it's nice, and I do like it, but it's. But anyway, moving on. The 8th Legion, the Night Lords. Now, these boys, traitors, and their Primarch Conrad Kurz, the Night Haunter. Cognomen, none recognised, informally the Night's Children and the Terror. Observed strategic tendencies, punitive actions, decimation, enforced pacification, terror assaults, and psychological warfare. So yeah, these guys are all about fear tactics, psychological warfare, horror. They originally weren't so bad, but then after Conrad was reunited with them, they just got worse and worse, and they started like wearing fucking the skin of their enemies, and they were covered in blood, and it was horrible. But obviously, fear tactics, so you know, covering yourself in the skin of your enemies kind of helps. But these guys are pretty sick, and Conrad Kurz is the sickest of them all. And I don't mean sick in the good way. I mean sick as in like there's something wrong with these people. Conrad Kurz, if I were to describe him, think Space Batman, but a villain. Yeah. He was supposed to be like, I think the Emperor's initial intentions for him was for him to be a judge. Like a judge, jury, executioner thing. Because he had in his head all of the laws of the Imperium, and he had a great sense of justice. Unfortunately, it kind of went a little wrong, because he wasn't brought up under the Emperor's guidance. He was brought up on a world which had very little sunlight, which was always in darkness, hence the Batman theme, and he had no one to raise him, and crime was rampant on Nocturne, which obviously sets off that need for justice. Unfortunately for him, though, it kind of got slightly perverted, because, you know, say someone went out and, like, burned down an orphanage, he would murder them horribly. Well, not murder them, well, I guess it is still murder, but, like, he'd punish them by killing them, and he'd do it horribly and brutally. Which is good, because you should be brutally murdered for burning down an orphanage. But he'd also give out the same punishment for some random teenager who stole a piece of bread because he wanted to feed his starving sister. And, you know, he'd be there flaying them alive, probably in front of the sister. So it kind of went a bit wrong, and he went a little bit mad, because he also had visions of the future. But I don't think that's an excuse, because my favourite Primarch also had visions of the future, but he wasn't a little shit about it. So, I do like the Night Lords though. I love their colour scheme. It's midnight blue and they've got this lightning drawn in their armour and it's very fun to paint, and midnight blue is literally my favourite colour. So I do... I am tempted, but they're all insane. But now, we get on to my favourite Legion. The 9th Legion. Blood Angels. Yeah. With the Primarch, the Golden Hawk Boy himself, Sanguinius. Their cognomen, prior names, were the Revenant Legion, which I think is fucking awesome. The Eaters of the Dead, which I don't think is so awesome. But that one was informal. Oh no. No. Okay. So, prior the Revenant Legion, the Eaters of the Dead, informal. The Charnel Feast, after Sanguinius assumed his place as sire of the Legion. These once commonplace names became considered an insult to the pride of the 9th Legion. Okay, so originally... So the story of the Blood Angels is that they were very basically, the Blood Angels are space vampires. But superhuman space marine, space vampires, I don't know. But they were very brutal and barbaric before Sanguinius was reunited with them. And they had gained a reputation for being brutal and barbaric and very bloodthirsty and just basically reckless barbarians. But once Sanguinius rejoined them, he taught them how to control this rage and this bloodthirst and to be honourable and virtuous and kind and compassionate and, driven in honour and a need to help and serve and protect the Imperium. So then they then became far more angelic in nature, and they garnered a lot more respect from both the Imperium and their brother legions. So the observed strategic tendencies are orbital drop operations, shock assault campaigns, and macro-scale decapitation strikes. Prior to Sanguinius's return to the 9th Legion, the 9th Legion was instead more widely known for its use as a tool of attrition-based warfare in war zones otherwise considered too hazardous for conventional operations. So yeah, the Blood Angels are known all about melee combat and shock assault and just getting in there and fucking people up, and it's brilliant. So the colour scheme, I'm well aware of the colour scheme. I've done it so many times. The colour scheme is blood red for the main armour, with a trim of black and gold. And it looks so fucking good. Oh, it looks so good. And the whole aesthetic of them with the wings and the blood drop decals. But I kind of don't want to do more Blood Angels because all I've been doing for most of my 40k experience has been Blood Angels. But I really like them, and I probably wouldn't be opposed to doing another set of Blood Angels. But moving on from my... Oh, no, not moving on. I need to talk about Sanguinius. Have you heard about our Lord and Saviour, Sanguinius? Sanguinius, the Primarch of the Blood Angels, think of him like Space Jesus. He had premonitions, like Conrad Kurz, but like I said, he wasn't a little shit about them. He constantly had premonitions, for quite some time, about his own death at the hands of his brother, Horus. And he knew he was going to die. He knew he was going to be killed by Horus on his flagship. And yet he went and fought Horus alone, knowing he was going to die, because he knew his sacrifice would mean that the Imperium won. So, basically, Sanguinius died for your sins. He's Space Jesus, and if you chat shit about him, I will throw you out of a window. And then go downstairs, pick you back up, and throw you back out of it again. Cool? Good. Don't chat shit about my hawk boy. I'm joking, kind of. Don't chat shit about my hawk boy. You can't see it, but I glared. I don't know why I glared, considering there's not a camera and you can't see me. Next Legion, the 10th Legion, Iron Hands. Not really, I'm not interested in doing these guys. Primarch Ferrus Manus, also known as the Gorgon. They're cognomen, none officially recognised, but informally they're known as the Iron 10th. Note that the cognomen Stormwalkers was gradually gaining de facto use immediately prior to contact with their Primarch, but was quickly extinguished in favour of the Iron Hands. Observe strategic tendencies, armoured and high-intensity warfare, line-breaker attacks, planetary pacification and suppression campaigns, anti-materiel operations. They're alright. They have an obsession with mechanics and replacing their biological components with machine parts, and it's just I'm not into it, to be honest. And their colour scheme is quite bland. It's just like grey with black and silver, and I don't like it, so I'm moving on. Not a fan. They are loyalists, though, so I do have a certain amount of respect for them. But speaking of loyalists, let's move on to a traitor legion. The 11th Legion. No, this isn't the 11th Legion. This is the 12th Legion. The 11th Legion, I believe, is the other one that is expunged from records. This is the 12th Legion, World Eaters. Because if I'm correct, if this is the 12th, then the next one will be the Ultramarines. Yes, okay, good. So, 12th Legion World Eaters, with their primogenitor, Angron the Conqueror. Their cognomen, Prior the Warhounds. That's Noteworthy domain. The Noteworthy domains came before the Observe Strategic Tendencies. Interesting. Observe strategic tendencies, shock assault, planetary kill and exterminatus operations, close quarter actions, space hulk purgation, boarding operations, line breaker attacks, forlorn hope objective assaults. These boys, I don't really like them. Well, I don't like their Primarch. Angron is like the biggest failure of all the Primarchs. I think he's the only Primarch that didn't manage to conquer his surrogate planet. So yeah, bit of a failure, and he was angry all the time. I mean, his name's literally Angron. He had these things called butcher's nails in his head, which meant that he felt pain and generally horrible feelings, unless he was killing people, because he was forced to be a gladiator on his surrogate planet, and they stuck the butcher's nails in his head. But then when he joined his legion, he forced his legionnaires to have the butcher's nails implanted into their brains as well. So they all just kind of became berserkers. And frankly, I'm not a really big fan of them, but I am a fan of their colour scheme. It's kind of like not really a white, kind of a dull white, light grey colour with red shoulder pads. And I am quite a fan of it, because I like it more than the 40k version, mostly because I think the white shows off the blood spatter better. And their whole aesthetic is obviously they're berserkers, so their whole aesthetic when you're painting the model is blood spatter. You want them to be gory and violent. And when your armour colour's already red, it kind of doesn't show up. But when it's like this, and it's this kind of bone white, I think it really shows the blood spatter very well. So I am interested in them, mostly for that reason. I think it would make some very good painting. But moving on to the 13th Legion, Ultramarines. These are the poster boys of 40k, and their Primarch is Reboot Gilliman, or lovingly referred to as Rowboat Girly Man. Oh god, that's a long cognomen. Prior. No single cognomen officially recognised, however several subdivisions of the 13th had gained widely accepted de facto cognomen before the unification with the Legion's primogenitor. Reference: the Aurorans, the Nemesis, the Desert Lions, etc., which were later subsumed and discarded. Early Great Crusade, informal / antiquated, there we go, English. The Warborn. Yeah, I don't really like any of those other names. Well, maybe Desert Lions. Sounds kind of cool, I guess. Yeah. Aurorans, actually. Not too bad. It's okay. But anyway. Observe strategic tendencies, mass assault, targeted decimation, planetary interdiction, liberation, and limited theatre compliance campaigns. The Ultramarines... okay, see, the Ultramarines are poster boys, and their aesthetic is quite, like, Roman, I'd say. A little bit of Greek in there. But the main colour scheme is, unsurprisingly, ultramarine blue, with a trim of gold, and there's some white in there as well. And it's okay. I know blue is my favourite colour, and I do love gold, so, yeah. But, I don't know, I've done it before, so I'm not that interested. Oh joy, the 14th Legion, the Death Guard. Now, these guys are traitors, and their primogenitor, Mortarion the Reaper. Their prior name, their cognomen, the Dusk Raiders. Observe strategic tendencies, heavy infantry assault, attritional warfare, hazard / death zone warfare, Xenos eradication, and purgation operations. They're kind of known for being really tough, which is why they later, after they've turned traitor, they eventually devoted to Nurgle, the god of decay. So, I mean, I like them, and I do prefer the heresy scheme over the 40k scheme. This kind of gritty, greyish cream that's very dark, and there's a lot of rust and grime, and like the hints of that kind of sickly green. It suits well to their theme, for sure. But I'm not super interested, and I'm not a big fan of Mortarion, so... Oop. The 15th Legion. Now, this I'm definitely interested in. 15th Legion, the Thousand Suns. Now, these guys are traitors, and their Primarch is Magnus the Red. They have no prior names, so no cognomen, and observed strategic tendencies are psychic warfare, precision assaults, misdirection, lore culling, macro coordination, multi-theatre campaigns. And I'm a big fan of that, right? And I really like their colour scheme. I like that they're all about psychers, and their colour scheme is this very rich, dark red with these gold accents, and their kind of theme is very like Egyptian, very mystic, arcane, and it's nice, and I like it a lot, so I'm definitely considering them. And then there's the 16th Legion, the Sons of Horus. Horus being the arch-traitor himself. It even says Allegiance Traitor Maximus. Their Primarch, obviously, Horus Lupercal. They are the Sons of Horus. Their prior cognomen was the Lunar Wolves, which they got for their deeds during the invasion and subjugation of Luna, the moon. Observe strategic tendencies, shock assault, harrowing actions, and strategic decapitation strikes. Quite similar to the Blood Angels. In fact, Sanguinius and Horus got along very well, which is why it was so harrowing for Sanguinius to have these premonitions that he was going to be killed by Horus. And he went through with it anyway, because Sanguinius is space Jesus and he died for your sins. Now, the Sons of Horus scheme is different to the Lunar Wolves scheme. And the Sons of Horus scheme is this kind of sea green, a more dark sea green, and with black and gold. And I like it. I'm not going to lie, I like it. But I kind of don't. The loyalist in me doesn't want to paint a bunch of what is literally the de facto main traitor legion. But I would rather paint the Sons of Horus than this next legion. The 17th Legion, Word Bearers, led by Lorgar the Urizen, aka Lorgar Aurelian. Cognomen, they used to be called the Imperial Heralds. The Iconoclasts was an informal name for them. Observe strategic tendencies, mass assault, policing actions. What the hell is that? Noetic purgation? I've never seen that word before in my life. Okay, yeah, sure. And suppression of ideological revolt. Basically, Lorgar Aurelian was the first traitor Primarch. He is the main, there were two in his legion that were like the first traitors, and then they converted him, and because he's a little bitch boy, basically he was raised as an altar boy. Like, he was worshipping what was basically the Dark Gods on his surrogate planet. And then when the Emperor came, he started worshipping the Emperor, which is not what the Emperor wanted at all, because he was all about atheism and science. In fact, he was trying to get rid of religion. And then one of his own sons was, on his knees, being a little hoe for him. And the Emperor was not pleased. So, burnt Monarchia to the ground. Whoops. And then, because Lorgar is a bit of a baby, he cried about it and went and worshipped the Dark Gods and started the heresy. So, yeah, not a fan. Their colour scheme, a very kind of dark, pale red with a grey and silver. I don't like it. I don't like them, and I fucking hate Lorgar. Lorgar is a very well-written character. You know he's a well-written character because I hate him wholeheartedly, which means he's been written really well, because it's incited genuine hatred for a fictional character. But I do hate Lorgar Aurelian, and if I could, I would bitch slap him into the next century. Just saying. Oh, we got onto some nice guys. Okay, so here is the 18th? This is 18th, right? Yes. Here we have the 18th Legion, the Salamanders, led by their Primarch Vulcan, and their cognomen is none officially recognised. See reference the Manticore Cataclysm, whatever that means. An informal designation, the Fearless, used by Imperial Army units. Observe strategic tendencies, high intensity or asymmetric warfare, zone mortalis engagements, planetary interdiction, liberation, and defensive operations. These guys are loyalists because Vulcan is a big friendly boy. Vulcan is the Primarch that is known for being the friendliest and the nicest and the kindest. He cared about Imperial citizens and the lives of your regular average person, and that was carried on to his sons in the Salamanders, and they are all about protecting the innocent, defending civilians, reducing civilian casualties in war, and they also use a lot of fire to burn enemies, which I feel like isn't exactly the wisest choice of weapon when you're trying to reduce collateral damage and then you're running in with a flamethrower. So, I mean, I'm not judging. They're clearly effective in what they do, and if they're effective in what they do using flamethrowers, then fair enough. But their coloured scheme, I'm quite a fan of. It's this very dark green with a black decal, this kind of bronzy, yeah, it's kind of a bronze trim, and I really do like it, and I do like the salamanders, and I do like Vulcan. Vulcan is also very good at forging. He forged a lot of weapons and a lot of armor and all this stuff. Oh, and he was immortal. Well, no, not immortal. I think they were all pretty much immortal. I don't know. Either that or they aged very, very slowly. But the Primarchs were already, like, they lived longer than humans. But Vulcan was immortal in the sense, well, it's called a perpetual in 40k, in the sense that he could be killed and he would come back to life. Like, you could, stab him straight through all of his hearts, because he probably had more than one, and he would die and then come back to life. Unfortunately, that didn't go very well. Conrad Kurz, Space Batman, captured him and tortured him and killed him a lot until he eventually escaped. And then I believe he teleported into the atmosphere above Macragge and burnt up on re-entry and then slowly healed again. So, yeah, man's died a lot. Poor thing. But I am interested in doing the Salamanders. Next, the Raven Guard. The 14th? Yes, 14th Legion. Raven Guard. With their primogenitor Corvus Corax, also known as the Raven Lord. And their cognomen, none officially recognised. The early Great Crusade era, informal names were Pale Nomads and Dustclad. And their observed strategic tendencies include rapid deployment operations, strategic interdiction operations, reconnaissance in force, guerrilla actions, low collateral damage imperative compliance operations. Wow, that's a mouthful. These loyalists, Corvus Corax, he's an edgy boy. Pale white skin, long, flowing, dark, jet black hair. The Raven Guard are all about stealth. In fact, the Mark 6 armour is named after Corvus, because it's called Mark 6 Corvus pattern armour. So, obviously. I'm not a fan of the colour scheme, though. It's just all black, pretty much. There's some greys and some silvers in there, but I'm not a fan of the colour scheme. I am, however, kind of a fan of the Raven Guard, but just not the colour scheme. I wouldn't do this, because I don't like the colour scheme. And then finally, which is strange, I didn't know they were called this. 15th. Oh, no, I'm just reading it wrong. Sorry. I've been doing this all wrong. What am I doing? So, Horus is 16th Legion, and then there's the Word Bearers, 17th Legion, and the 18th is the Salamanders, and the 19th is the Raven Guard. There we go. I don't know what I think I got it wrong. I can't remember. But then the 20th Legion, the final one, are the Alpha Legion, with their their Primarchs, plural, Alpharius Omegon, who... God, here we go. This is going to be a long story. Cognomen prior, 747 informal cognomen are listed, including the Harrowing, the Ghost Legion, the Unbroken Chain, the Strife Wrought, the Hydra, the Combine, the Left Hand of Darkness, the Azure Serpent, the Amaranth Coil, and simply Legion. These guys are the embodiment of the phrase "I am Spartacus" made into a legion. Alpharius Omegon were two Primarchs, but they were smaller than their other brothers, kind of more the size of large Space Marines rather than the size of Primarchs. And the Alpha Legion are all about misdirection and sabotage and infiltration and subterfuge and misdirection and this and that. And there's this whole joke in the community of "I am Alpharius," because no one knows who Alpharius is. No one even knows if he's alive anymore. Alpharius or Omegon died at some point at Rogel Dawn's hand. I don't even know which one it is anymore. One of them died, the other one took over. They're officially listed as traitors, but no one knows if they're actually traitors. They might not be. They might secretly be loyalists, but no one knows, because they go around doing mysterious actions all the time that no one can really understand. Sometimes they help the Imperium, sometimes they damage the Imperium, and no one really knows what kind of grand plan's going on, but no one knows who they are, no one knows who Alfarius is. Most people probably don't even know that there were two Primarchs, and it's all very confusing, but their colour scheme is beautiful. Their colour scheme is, I don't even know how to describe it, kind of like a turquoise, sea blue-ish, kind of greenish as well, and then highlighted with silver, and it's very nice, and I love the base colour, and I would choose them simply for the base colour. So, that is a lot, and I still haven't figured out which one I want, even though I've just read it out to you. You know what I'm going to do? Where is it? I will write it down. I'll write down what I want, and then we'll narrow it down from there. How about that? Okay. So give me not a minute. It's like right next to me. Give me 5 seconds so I can grab a pen and paper. Right, I am back. I have my piece of paper here, and I have 3 columns, yes, no, and maybe. So, starting with the Dark Angels. These are the guys who are very knightly and have a black with red colour scheme, and I'm going to stick them firmly in the maybe. Dark Angels. I almost put Dark Angles then. Not quite as terrifying of a name. Dark Angles. Beware the fury of the Dark Angles. Okay. Oh, I've got a really itchy back. Hang on, sorry. There we go. I should probably leave that out the recording, but I'm going to keep it in. So, 3rd Legion, Emperor's Children, the pretty boys, with the lovely, lovely colour scheme. And I'm definitely going to stick these guys in the yes column, I think. Emperor's Children. And next we have the Iron Warriors, a solid no. Iron Warriors. And then we have the 5th Legion, White Skulls, which are a maybe. White Scar. Oh, White SARS. I can't spell anymore, apparently. White Skulls, or maybe, with their Jagdai Khan, their Mongol theme, and their white and red colour scheme. And then we have the Space Wolves, with their obvious wolf aesthetic. And I think I will stick the Space Wolves in a solid maybe. Space Wolves. And then we have the Imperial Fists, which I kind of want to put them in yes, and I kind of want to put them in maybe. They're the very stubborn guys with the yellow and black colour scheme. And I think I'm going to stick them in a maybe, but they are a strong maybe. So, Imperial Fists. And then we have the Night Lords, who, I hate to say it, but I'm going to put them, oh my god, I'm going to put them in yes, and I've just made a realisation. So, the only two I have in the yes column right now are the Emperor's Children and the Night Lords, both traitor legions, and yet I claim to be a staunch loyalist. Whoops. But as much as I hate to admit it, I love the midnight blue with the lightning colour. It's so good. But then, my boys, the Blood Angels, and I want to put them in maybe because, like I said, I don't want to keep doing Blood Angels, but I love them too much, so they're going straight in yes. I'm so sorry. I can't stop myself. And that red with the black and gold is too good. Iron Hands are going straight in no. Oh, look at that. The only two in no right now are the Iron Warriors and the Iron Hands. Evidently, I'm not a fan of the silvery grey colour schemes. The World Eaters, solid maybe. I do like the colour scheme. I hate the Primarch. World Eaters. And then, what have we got after that? The Ultramarines, right? Yes, Ultramarines. Ultramarines I'm going to stick in a maybe, because they're a classic, but that's the problem. They are quite generic, so... But I do love the blue and gold colour scheme. Who's after that? Mortarion. He's going... I don't know. Do I put them in maybe? I'll put them in maybe, but it's kind of a low maybe, to be honest. Yes, the Death Guard. Just eh. Just eh. And then Thousand Suns. Now these guys are going in, yes. Why are all of the ones... the Blood Angels are the only loyalists that I've said yes to, and I feel like I should be concerned. Sons of Horus are a maybe. I do like the colour scheme, not gonna lie. I'm not usually a big fan of green, but they pull it off decently well. And then there's the Word Bearers, going in a solid no, never touching the Word Bearers. They are traitors, and all should die a horrible, painful death. Fuck off, Lorgar, you smug, bold prick. Salamanders, a solid maybe. Salamanders. And then there is the Raven Guard, going in a no, because I do not like the colour scheme. Raven Guard. At least I have an equal amount of traitors and loyalists in the no pile. And then the Alpha Legion. Alpha Legion, I am going to stick them in no. I almost just wrote no then, rather than the actual Alpha Legion. Alpha Legion. As much as I do like the colour scheme, I don't want to do an entire army as them. But I do really, really like the colour scheme. But I'm just, like I said, not doing a whole army as that. I can't. That is the first step, and now I'm going to narrow it down a little bit. This book makes such nice noises. I need to use this in videos. Look at that. Listen to that. Mm-hmm. Premium tapping quality right there. I'm going to use it as a bit of an elevated table surface though, because I'm too tall for my table, and I don't like to have to scrunch my shoulders over just to reach it. So, time to narrow things down. God, how am I going to go about this? Right, let me just cross out whoever I don't want. I'm going to... I've got another piece of paper I can use, maybe... Let me try and grab another piece of paper. There's our long arms for the win. So we have the Emperor's Children. Actually, no. What am I doing? Those are definitely in the yes. Let's narrow down the maybes. So, the way I always narrow down maybes is I choose between two, right? So, if I were to choose between the... Let me put these two. Blood Angels, Thousand Suns. Okay. So... Between the Dark Angels and the White Scars, I don't want to choose between those two. Those two are too difficult. Let's put some random, shall we? If I were to choose between the Dark Angels and the Death Guard, I'd probably choose Dark Angels. But then, Dark Angels doing all black all the time. Would I enjoy it? It'd be quick. It's a quick colour scheme to do. That's for sure. Dark Angels. But I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I will cross out the Blood Angels for now. The White Scars I'm going to leave there. So let's say no to Dark Angels. I'll leave the White Scars. Space Wolves, I am going to say no to. I don't really want to do the colour scheme, and I think I'm pretty sure about that. I do like them. But yeah, no, the colour scheme doesn't draw me that much. Imperial Fists I like. The yellow's a bit difficult, but I'll leave them there for now. World Eaters would be interesting, but would I pick them over anything else that I have in the yes list? Probably not. So, no. Ultramarines, I'm just going to say no. The Ultramarines have never had much of a draw for me. The Death Guard, Death Guard I'm going to say no to as well. The Sons of Horus. The Sons of Horus I will leave for now, and the Salamanders. So, if I add the other ones... Actually, the Salamanders I'll say no to. So let's add the other ones. So we have the White Skulls, the Imperial Fists, and the Sons of Horus. Right, now I need to discern between these guys, because I could do more than just two. I think I want to narrow it down to two, ideally, but I could do 3, maybe 4, a big stretch. But right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to cut down at the minimum 3, more ideally 5. So, let's see. Who do I have as my loyalists? I have the Blood Angels are loyalist. The White Scars are loyalist. And the Imperial Fists are loyalist. So I have 3 loyalists and 4 traitors. I will. What will I do? Who knows? I don't know. Deciding. I'm really bad at this. There's so many things I want to do. I think what I'm going to say is I'm very drawn to the Thousand Suns. So I don't think I'm going to be... I think the Thousand Suns are at the very least going to be in the last leg of the race. I really want to do them. And I kind of want to say the same for the Emperor's Children, so I'm going to put them slightly underneath. And then, between the Blood Angels and the Night Lords, I'd probably pick the Blood Angels. I like the Blood Angels. Fuck. Am I really that much of a Blood Angel fanboy? Yeah, I am. Oh, I totally am. Fuck. I am going to, however, get rid of the White Scars on the basis of white being a very difficult colour to do. I'm tempted to do the same for the Imperial Fists, but I do quite like them. I do, in fact, even have their Primarch as a model. I do have Rogel Dawn, so I could paint him up, and then I'd have that all set. So that is tempting. Between the Sons of Horus and the Night Lords, I think I would rather do the Night Lords rather than the Sons of Horus. So I'm going to get rid of the Sons of Horus. So that leaves... I've only crossed out 2. Great. Well done, Bradley. Well done. Thousand Sons for Blood Angels, Night Lords, Imperial Fists. So, I think I will cross out the Night Lords, because I'd rather choose either the Emperor's Children or the Thousand Sons over them. And then I'm stuck with the Blood Angels and the Imperial Fists. So at least now we're down to 2 traitors, 2 loyalists. if I had to choose between them, I think I would rather do the... I think I'd rather do the Imperial Fists over the Blood Angels. Mostly because I've already done so many Blood Angels, and I've already got the Rogal Dawn model. So, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I think I might have to kick the Blood Angels out of the race. Oh, Sanguinius, forgive me, I'm so sorry. And then, if I had to choose between the Thousand Suns and the Emperor's Children, honestly, as much as I love the colour scheme for the Emperor's Children, I'm a big fan of purple, I'm actually really drawn to the Thousand Suns, so I think I'll choose the Thousand Suns. So, I have chosen the Thousand Suns and the Imperial Fists. God damn, that was hard for me. I'm really bad at doing this kind of stuff and actually deciding, because I always want to try out new things. I always want to, paint different schemes and try this and that out. I might still try an Emperor's Children for one of them, to be honest. We'll see. But I think now, for the last little bit of this, because it's already been plenty long, I think it's been over an hour of me just talking, so, that's hopefully plenty of work, or whatever you're doing, done in the background. And now I'm going to and I think I will build one of the Praetor models, and I'll have a look at it, and I'll see what kind of vibe it gives me, and maybe that'll help me decide which colour scheme I want to paint. So, let me move some of this stuff out of the way, and I will get to building a model. Right, I have the miniature here for a Praetor with Power Sword, and let's get to making it. I have my plastic clippers here to snip the pieces out from the frame. I have my files here to file down the edges, smooth it out, and I have my plastic glue to glue the pieces together. So, firstly, I need parts 2, 3, and 4. Where's part 1? Oh, part 1 is the base. Oh, okay. So, part 2... Where is it? I'm blind. Help me. That's 4. Dude, where's your other foot? Oh, there. So, part 2. Let's snip this off. And then snip the other bit off like that. 2. Same with 4. Go out the door. Snip. I'm trying not to do this as violently as I normally do when I'm doing this just normally, because it makes a little too much noise. So I'm giving him little snips, snips. And then 3, which is this piece here. Snip, 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 and snip. There we go. So, all those pieces are out, and now it's time to file them down. I'll get the file here, and just give it a little... down just a little bit, smooth it out. There we go. Same with this one. Again, I'm trying to do this very gently so it's not too loud. Just gently filing it down, bit by bit. Little small gentle motions. Don't want to file it down too much, otherwise I will be filing down actual parts of the model, which obviously I do not want to be doing. Let's just file this arm piece down like this, and same on the other shoulder joint to connect the arm. Just give it a little file. Just like that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I should slowly wear it down. There we go. Next piece, one of the legs. I'm just going to very, very, very gently file down the top bit, and then file the foot. Don't worry, I don't tend to worry too much about filing the feet, for obvious reasons, because you're not going to see the feet because they're going to be glued to the base, so I'm usually not too bothered. File that down and give the foot a little filing. There we go. Right, now we have to glue those pieces together. So I'm pretty sure this goes here, and this one goes here. But one thing I do need to do is the mould lines. So these miniatures are made by pouring the plastic into moulds, and then you press the two pieces together, and then it hardens in the mould. But obviously you get these mould lines, that little bit of gap between the two, so it leaves a very, very small line, which I am going to use this tool I have to remove those lines and just smoothen it out so it looks better. Always get rid of your mould lines. Do not like them. We do not like them in the slightest. And I almost dropped the miniature there. That happens a lot. I drop these pieces a lot. It's because I got massive fingers, because I've got huge hands, because I'm huge. So depending on how this goes, I might do some more videos of just like background noise of just me building, painting, just something to put on in the background while you are doing whatever you're doing. Now I'm going to add a drop of plastic glue to the connection point on this leg, and then connect it to the torso piece. And I've run into a very common issue with the glue, and it's that the plastic glue dries in the little like needle. So you've got a very small thin metal tube that obviously lets you get out a very small amount of glue, because obviously these are miniatures, so you don't want a giant amount of glue coming out. But when the plastic glue dries in the tube, what you can do is use a lighter to heat up the metal part and dissolve the glue. And this is something I learned like 2 years ago, and I've used it ever since because it's so useful, and it used to bother me all the time before, but now flip the lighter on, light up the tube a little bit, let it cool down a second, And then just a drop onto the leg. Like that. Now actually, I think I'm going to heat up the tube a little more because I don't think it's coming out quite as much as it should be. Not that I mind, but I do like to get a nice solid drop. There we go. And let's hope that's completely cleared it out while we do the other one. So, we've got one leg on. This glue dries pretty quickly. You still want to leave it for a bit though, you don't want to go yanking things because it will come straight off. It takes a little while to just properly dry and harden. At this point I've just realised I've left 2 mould lines, but let me get rid of those quickly. There we go. And there we have our first piece. Now onto the second bit, we are taking pieces 6 and 5 and adding them together. So let me get piece 6. Oh, the connection points on the cape. I always find these difficult. Well, it's not a cape, because it's not on the back, but I don't know what to call it, so I'm going to call it a cape. And then snip, and one more, snip. So there we go, take that, and then piece number 5 here. I think this is a neck guard. I do like this. And I can't remember what the mark of armour is. I think it's Mark 8 Errant armour, I think, is what it's called. And it's like the basic Aquila armour. I don't think it's 8, actually. But I'm not entirely sure it's called Errant either. But it's like the basic 40k Space Marine armour, but with a neck guard. And I like that because, well, like the Space Marine armour is very, very tough and very, very strong. One of its few weaknesses are at its joints, like the neck, the elbows, back of the knees, stuff like that. And you can obviously get hit there, and your armour's not going to do anything about it. So I like when they have the little gorgets around the neck to protect it, because it just seems more realistic, you know, something you do to protect your neck from being slashed open, because obviously dying is not in your best interest in the slightest. So again, add a drop of glue into the point where you are connecting the two, and I use my fat fingers. Well, they're not fat fingers, they're actually average size fingers, but they're just long because I've got massive hands. And then I stick this piece in here. Or at least I try to. Again, my massive fingers not coming in handy right now. There we go. Oh, I got it there. Oh, so it's not really a neck guard, actually. I don't think it is. After I had all that talk about using a neck guard. So, I then take... So this is piece 1B we've just made. The piece we made originally was 1A. And now we're going to take to step 1C, and we're going to add number 9 to 1B. So, where is number 9? There's number 9. I don't know what to call this, actually. There we go. Put that down, put that down. Oh, there it is. I almost lost the piece already. Jesus Christ. Dim. Add a little bit of glue. And then I stick it onto the connecting point. Right in the middle of the torso. And I think that's connected properly. Yep. Perfect. And now I add these two main pieces together. So let me take this, add the glue to it, and then hopefully that should quite neatly slot into the next piece. Pretty please. Yes, it does. Lovely. Oh, whoops. There we go. Lovely. Oh, it's looking good already. Okay, so now we take... What on earth am I taking? That's all the pieces in one go. Piece 8, 13, 12, and 15. Okay. Let's start with piece 8, shall we? There's piece 8. There it is. And this is going to be stuck to the side of his leg. Okay. But where exactly on the side of his leg? And piece 13 I'm going to do the same with. Ooh. Okay. Right. Piece 8, come here. Snip, snip, and then I will file it down, and on the other side, file it down, and then I put it. I think it quite neatly attaches to the leg. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's shaped to the leg, so pretty sure that's where it's meant to go. So, drop of glue, and then I stick it, boop, right there. Huzzah! Haha, that looked quite good actually, I quite like that. Okay, and then I need to find piece 13, which is right here. Looks like 2 scrolls and a combat knife. File that down, file that down, and file that down. And there are some mold lines, so I'm just going to quickly get rid of them. Scrape those mold lines off. Particularly common on the intricate details like this, mold lines. Just scrape, 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 scrape. All off. There we go. And then I glue this on. Now this also looks like it's shaped to fit quite neatly onto him. So So I'm hoping it's quite easy to fit. Or maybe it'll be really fucking difficult, who knows. It's, is it really meant to do that? Really? That doesn't look right to me. But I guess that is right. I guess that is right. It doesn't look quite right to me, but I suppose it gets covered up with the cape. And then 12. Where's 12? I mean, that's the giant sword. I don't know how I missed that. 12. Snip, snip. 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 So. I'm going to actually snip these pieces off a little more because it will be easier and quicker than filing. There we go. And now I will file the rest down. So, file that down. File that down. File this down. Actually, still a little bit left, but I think it might be easier for me if I cut it off with a scalpel blade. Like that. Easy. There we go. Good to see my model skills haven't diminished horribly in the time I've stopped doing this. Just gonna also use it on some of these mold lines actually, because it will be easier than using the other tool. And then just cut that little bit off there and do the same at the tip. Cut the little bit left up there and then file it down. Beautiful. And now I attach the arm like so. There we go. Damn, it's starting to look good. Right, next I need the shoulder pad to put on the arm. Piece 15. So I will take the file, file it down, dollop of leg glue. I was getting, oh yeah, it's dried around the tip. Yeah, the problems of plastic glue. There we go. Fixed. And then I stick the shoulder pad on. Oh ho ho ho, it's looking good. Right. Then there is 7 actually. First will probably be easier to put on before 10. Piece 7. Snip. Snip. 2, file down, grab the glue, put a little bit on, and pop that underneath onto his leg, like so. Oh, I see. So it's the same on both sides, but the other one's a little more decorated. I like that. Okay, so next I want pieces 10 and 11. So this is his pistol. Snip. And then on top of the scope, snip. I'm not going to worry too much about getting the mould lines off the shoulder, because we're going to be putting a shoulder pad on it anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. But I will try and get the mould lines off everything else, like these tubes. Begone, mould lines, begone. Just run the tool along it. Just help get rid of those. And now I need part 11. This is the end of the barrel of the pistol. Where is it? There it is. It's so small. Oh god, my massive fingers are really going to struggle with this. There we go. Anyway. Stick a little bit of glue on. So I try to do this without totally cocking it up and dropping the piece. There we go. Look at that. I've done it. The pistol. Right, now you need to just attach it to the body. A little bit of glue. And then pop it right on there. Like that. Beautiful. Oh, it's looking good. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Right. Next, we are sticking the cape on him. Well, not yet. We're making it and then sticking it on him. So, we need part 17, the big part of the cape. Let's clip 1, 2, 3 snips. 4 snips. 4 snips. That, get rid of that, and then this one up here. The fact, because it's in a slight dip, let me use the scalpel blade to just remove it gently, and try not to cut the cape itself. Look at that precision. Ooh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know why I switched accents there, but it is indeed absolutely beautiful. Any other points that I missed? I don't think so. So now we need the small bits, the tiny ickle wickle bit 18, which is a small fold in the cape, which is why it's separate. And let me just file that down without accidentally filing my nails, would be lovely. So if I look at the cape like this, where does this go? This goes somewhere. Well, I know where it goes, I'm just trying to figure out how on earth it fits in. Just need to try fit it until it works. Oh, there we go. Okay, I figured it out. So, add a little bit of glue, and then dry fit. Well, not dry fit. Actually fit it. Huzzah! There we go. And then, number 19. Snip. Snip. And snip. Huzzah. Take 19 out and give it a file, and a file. Oh, almost filed my nail there. And then I've got to glue that on as well. There we go. Oh, I'm struggling to glue this one on. Oh god. Tiny piece versus massive fingers. The classic battle of the ages. Oh, come on. Come on. No. Right. I'll stay there. And let the glue do its work. Or I'll kill your whole family. Ah, there we go. It always works better if you threaten it and its family. Piece of advice. Right, now we add the backpack. 1 snip, 2 snips. And finally, 3 snips. Right, then we go. Shave this down a little bit. Same here. And then finally up here. Then I will go in with my scalpel, trim it up, and also try to remove some of these mold lines. Do not like it, please go away. Backpacks are probably one of the hardest ones to get rid of the mold lines on. Got all these little corners and crevices where the mold lines have still managed to fit their way in. There we go. And now I will glue these pieces here and stick the backpack into them. Oh, this is weird. Okay. So it really is glued at a funny angle then. Oh, there we go. I actually managed to get it to fit. Huh. Oh, I did it. Oh. There we go. Easy as that, apparently. Right, now I need to glue it and the cape onto the back. 1, 2, 3. And hold it there for a second, let the glue start to take effect. And voila. Oh no, oh, not voila. No, hold. Not voila in the slightest, no. if I add more glue to the cape, because it's got multiple connection points. And you know what? I have actually forgotten a shoulder pad. So let me do that really quickly. These miniatures have gotten so much easier to put together and make as time has gone on. It's become so much easier. This is the first purchase I've made from GW in a very long time. Games Workshop, the people who make the miniatures and own the IP, because GW are scumbags, if any of you don't know, who frankly don't deserve my money, because they are scumbags, but I'm okay with making one purchase after not buying anything for 2 years straight, because fuck GW. Right, I have a choice here. I have an option of 2 heads. So, I can choose between the helmeted or the unhelmeted version, and I think I'm going to go for the unhelmeted one because he's got a cool little mustache beard going on, and I'm a fan. Especially if I do paint these as Imperial fists. Well, this guy is Imperial fists. Then I will have a very cool mustache man. And I have to choose a headpiece as well because he's got a hole in his head. So, is it a choice, or do I... What does that mean? I don't know what that symbol means on the instructions. Let me have a look. It means variant assembly. Okay. Does that mean I can stick that there instead of the other piece? Because I'd probably like to. Actually, no, I'd probably prefer that. Oh, so he's in this kind of helmeted way. Let me see. Let me take piece number 23 out and see if it can be added alone. There we go. How would I even add it alone? Oh, there we go. I actually think he looks quite cool like that. Looks like he's got some cool flowing hair. And the other one kind of looks like a toilet seat, I'm not gonna lie. Not a toilet seat, a toilet brush. Yeah, I think I might choose that over the funky looking head guard. A little bit. Oh no, too much glue, too much. There you go. Dab a bit off. Stick on the funky hair. Lovely. And now I stick this head into the actual body, and then he will pretty much be complete. Huzzah! Oh, look at that. With the hand it'd come off, but I'll plop that back on. There's your funky hair back, good sir. Well, it is actually looking... I really like that model. Right now, I have to stick the base on. So there's the base piece. Clip that off. And then file these bits down. Don't really think it matters too much filing them down because it's rubble anyway, so pretty much already looks like it's part of it. So then I take this piece and I pop it. Where do I put it? Just like that, and then he has his foot up on it like that. Okay, there we go. And then I stick him to a base, and then he's done. Right, so I'm going to leave it like that. If any of you are still listening in, please like the video, comment, all that stuff, subscribe, bloody bloody blah. I don't really care that much, don't worry about it. But what I do care about is telling me if you want more videos like this, okay? So if you want more videos like this, please do tell me in the comments. If you want to just hear me making, painting miniatures, rambling, nerding out as just a video for you to put in the background and listen to. But without further ado, I hope you have a good day or night, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you in the next video. Hey there, thank you for watching this video, but just before it ends, I'd like to take this chance to thank all my disciples of Jesus Christ patrons. If you'd also like to support me, you can check the links below. But until the next time, take care of yourself, have a good day or night, and I'll see you in the next video.